One of our stories today remains the political stalemate in Cambodia. The opposition has rejected Prime Minister Hun Sen's victory claim in Sunday's elections. It says it cannot accept the result because of widespread voting irregularities. Complaints of missing voter names as well as duplicate names on voter lists prompted rioting in the capital, Phnom Penh, on Sunday. The military was deployed to restore order. The political instability comes at a time when Cambodia is emerging in the business world as a possible new investment hotspot. Well, as the world buckles under slower growth, Cambodia's economy is expanding. The ADB says the country's been growing at an annual clip of 7.2%. This prompted a surge in foreign investment, which jumped 75% last year. But could the political uncertainty derail its growth? Douglas Clayton is the CEO of Leopard Capital. Not everyone is happy with the election result. What kind of consequences will this have on Cambodia's reputation and for investors?
This is a very interesting election result. It's by far the closest in Cambodia's history. The opposition did much better than I think they expected or the general public expected. So it shows that Cambodia is moving closer and closer to normalcy and getting past its troublesome period of 35 years ago.
And what will an extension of the Hun Sen regime mean?
Well, it'll be more of the same, except that the government now has received a message that they need to start to become more transparent, more accountable, start to work with the opposition more because they've lost their majority in parliament, and generally take a more of a consensus-building approach to governance. So I think this is all quite positive for investors in the medium term.
And speaking of governance, in your economic assessment of Cambodia, where would you place rising inequality and corruption?
Well, these have historically been problems, but I think the overall economic tide has risen for everybody quite a lot in the last couple of decades. And the ruling party is to be credited for creating stability that allowed the economy to flourish. But inequality is rising, of course, at the very top. Some people are getting too wealthy and flaunting it perhaps too much. I think the government will swing now more towards trying to win votes from the people at the bottom of the pyramid.
For investors interested in going into Cambodia, what are the barriers like for them? Any particular limitations to foreign investment that they should be aware of?
It's really one of the most open economies in Asia. Foreign investors are allowed to own 100% of nearly any business, and it's quite easy to get new licenses on things like banks and even cellular companies. So it's a very liberal, pro-foreign investment regime. The only restriction is, like most Asian countries, foreigners are not allowed to own freehold land. You're also
a manager of a Cambodia fund. How's your portfolio looking right now? Are there particular bright spots or sectors that you're eyeing?
Yes, we focused on delivering products, goods and services and jobs to the lowest segment of the population, the rural population, where the competition is the least and the margins are the greatest. So we've invested in things like creating local beverage brands, as well as rural finance, rural electricity, telecoms, and these sectors have done quite well for us.
All right, thank you, Douglas, for those comments. We've been speaking with Douglas Clayton from Leopard Capital.